Namaste. Good afternoon. Most of us exist in sort of a state of ego manifested, ego supported, ego created sense of self. And this is our reality. Until such time that, through good luck, good karma, good graces, diligence, practice, maybe you'll be exposed to some meditation, which is, today's topic is not meditation, but a specific expression of meditation. So this egoic, transmitted, created sense of self, this maya, this illusion that most of us live in, we get exposed to some meditation, and there's also, and today buzzwords, mindfulness, practice mindfulness and heartfulness, and it's all really good things. But it really comes down to serendipity, luck, good genes, good karma, when it's your turn to, what I refer to as awaken. Now, people seem to distinguish between awakened and enlightened, and to me they're interchangeable, except I lean towards awakened because it's number one, enlightened in the light. It's beautiful, but it's been overused, abused to the point that it really doesn't have much meaning anymore. No, people it's like karma. People kind of think they have an understanding of karma because it's so used, good karma, bad karma, But in essence, they really have no idea what karma is, the nature of karma. Karma is karma. Karma is action. There's no good karma, no bad karma, but that's a topic for another day. Today we want to talk about what I call awakened meditation. The practice of meditation, my practice of meditation after I awakened, and I want to distinguish between enlightened and awakened. There is no distinguish. There's no distinguishing them. They're one and the same. But I like awakened because it likens itself to being in a dream, which is the state that most of us exist in. This is the egoic, supported sense of self. And we exist in that, and that's reality to us. But there comes a time when we can see through that, and there's a death of the ego. And then the ego comes back, but only in service of the awakened soul, just so that it can function in this daily world of working and surviving and money. And all those things don't disappear. They're still part of the reality that we face as long as we're in this body. So again, awakened enlightenment. I still practice. My meditation practice is quite strong, but I only meditate about 2 hours a day, which is quite a bit less than I have in the past. But 2 hours, I usually like to meditate I'm gravitated to 13:33 to 15:33, those 2 hours in the afternoon. I don't know, they say morning and evening and blah, blah, blah. People say a lot of things, but you have to find out what fits, what's right for you. And what's right for me, it seems to be this lull time in the afternoon. Okay? Anyway, let me give you some examples probably of what I mean by awakened meditation. Awakened meditation, I became aware, literally aware of, could entertain, could calculate, could grasp, could get my hand around infinitely large, very, very large numbers and very, very small numbers. Something that had never had happened to me before. But I could be in states of meditation when I literally knew, not cellular, on a cellular level, I knew how many cells were in my body. I could count them, could count the cells, and even to the molecular level. I knew exactly how many. I could give you a number of how many molecules there were in my body. And I go back to my studies of Hinduism and the Vedas and the Upanishads, and they saw it as Buddhas. Each cell, there were millions and billions of Buddhas within our body. And this is the same thing that we call cells today, or break cells down into molecules. And molecules we know can be broken to atoms. I probably am aware of how many atoms there are in this space that I occupy, which today, by the way, is decked out with all my malas. Okay? How's that for digression? All my malas, all my beautiful malas, handmade by my wife. I put them all on today, felt special. So this awareness of really large numbers, even numbers, I can tell you that there's about 800 million people that are at least in the first stage of awakening. For me, there's 3 distinct stages, and I use the Buddhas. I have a red Buddha for the first breakthrough, then a green Buddha who talks about compassion and love, and then ultimately, when the Buddha, Shakyamuni, comes in your body, the golden Buddha. Okay, but these are all stages of awakening, and 800 million souls right now are in one of these, most in the red Buddha stage. That's the initial sense of awakening, the death of the ego, the step that you take that there's no going back, the step on the stepless path. And all of a sudden, these metaphors, these Zen koans, they all of a sudden make sense to you. But anyway, that was part of awakened meditation, was just this awareness of myself, the space. Numbers, where'd they come from? I'd never been interested. 1, 2, 3 was about it for me. But this overwhelming understanding of numbers. When I look at the sky, I know that we have the capabilities to count thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, and hundreds of billions, and that's enough. But we have that capability to count those, to be aware of the individuality of each of the, on the micro level, of each of the molecules and atoms, or Buddhas, within my body, the chakras, the centers of energy. They're countless. And I remember being really attracted to Tibetan Buddhism for a reason I'll talk about today. And Tibetan Buddhism, I love the colors. I love the all the little demons, and the art. I love the Tibetan art. And so much of it rang true with me after many years in Rinzai Zen and Hinduism before that, at many different levels. And just Tibetan Buddhism, I just was really, so much of it really appealed to me. Went through a ceremony, and I got a Tibetan name. And I want to share something that was funny. The monk was going through a ceremony, and he'd take a snip of your hair. And everybody was watching with curiosity that when I got up there with this head, what was he going to do? How could you snip? And he looked at me and goes, never mind. And he just mimicked snipping some hair and did the procedure, which was burn it at the same time, give you a Tibetan spiritual name. Beautiful. I love the ceremonies. I love the colors. I love the Dalai Lama. And tomorrow or the next day or maybe today again, I'll talk about the second thing that really appealed to me, and it's really funny. But this awakened, and I don't know if I covered it well that I use awakened instead of enlightened, and it means to me that's the same thing. Aware of the ultimate reality, awareness, dwelling in the oneness, the non-duality, acceptance of existence, the recognition of our oneness. And then I'd like to end this, or actually I'm going to stretch it. I'm looking for 11:11, so I'm going to end it pretty soon. So namaste, hang in there, love you all.